Welcome to Board Gaming with Austin. Today I'm going to give you a quick, complete review of Wonderland Rush by Roast and Toast Games. It's a 2 to 4 player game and plays in 30 to 45 minutes. You have the game right here in front of you, and these are all the components in the game. There's a lot more tokens. Those are off on the side. There's one of these little boards here and a screen and a set of colored tokens for each of the 4 players. And then off on the left here, you see all of these cute little rabbits. Those don't resemble the players in the game, and I'll explain that in a little. I could probably actually do this all in one video. So this is going to be a complete review video, giving you my ratings on the quality of the components, the directions, the gameplay, and then I'm going to quickly explain all the rules for this game because there's not that many rules. So we're going to start with the ratings. Right off the bat, this is a 5-star quality components. They have really nice cardboard tokens, cardboard standees, but they're still really nice. Really nice thick board that actually lays flat. The screens are really good as well. The company could do better with their player aids, but that runs into the directions area. Everything else, 5-star quality. Here, I'll show you the different tokens right here. So these are the beautiful art on these tokens, and you can see on one side of them it says "Eat Me" with the color of the player, and then on the other side it says, and those are cakes. On the other side are these different effect tokens. So there's a shield, which is upside down, the swap token, the trap, the axe, and the stopwatch. And I'll go over at the end of this video what those are while I'm explaining the game. Directions. Directions I give a 5-star. There was nothing that I couldn't find out in the directions. Everything's in its specific section that it needs to be in, and I had no problems whatsoever. The player aid will probably make the directions like 4.75 because it could have a better player aid, and that's not really that big of an issue because all the instructions are in this tiny instruction booklet. It's 7 pages. It's not, I guess it's not tiny, but the words, it's not that much words. Instruction booklet goes over how to use the effects, shows you how to play the game, all of that. So I give the directions a 4.75. Now I go straight into the next section, which is gameplay. So with gameplay, I like to kind of give my thoughts on the gameplay and talk about like the general how you play it. So as you can see, the game board over has a little map, like race section around it, and then there's all these different paths in the middle of the board and some plates over here on the side. So you have these 5 rabbits. The point of the game is these rabbits are racing around the board all on their own. You do not control the rabbits. No player controls the rabbits. They run on their own and they do their own thing. Each rabbit is placed in a starting space right over the suit that matches their character. So this is a circle, which isn't technically a suit. There's the heart, and that's over the heart. The clover, the diamonds, the spade matches each of the rabbits. Those are their starting spaces, and when the round begins, the game takes place over multiple rounds until one of the rabbits makes it to this starting space. There's multiple rounds, and then there's 2 phases. I believe there's 2 phases. There's technically 3 phases, but it goes so fast you don't really notice it. The first phase is the planning phase. So each player has their little screen set up to prevent other players from seeing each other. There's these little boards, and I have them flipped over. So one side of the board has a design on it, and the other board has a little circle under a picture of each rabbit. And so what you do to begin the game is you grab your player board, your color, and you choose a color and grab all the matching stuff. And then on every round, when you're going through the 3 phases, on the first phase, you're going to be taking some of these cakes And tokens, they're going to be flipped over and randomized, and you're going to grab 3 at a time. And then on the first phase, you're going to be using all 3 of your cake effect tokens. So on one side is a cake, on the other side is an effect. You can decide to use it for the cake ability, which feeds the rabbits, or you can use it for its effects. Now, rabbits all have a general movement of 5, and that's displayed right here. This shows that there's 5 movement per rabbit. However, if you feed it a cake, use your coin to feed it a cake, it decreases its movement by 1 every single turn. You want to feed the rabbits because the rabbit that finishes first allows the player who has the most cakes of their color on that rabbit to win. However, you also don't want to feed it too much because it'll be slower. The game says that if they take a time to eat a cake, then it slows them down. The side effect, or the effects here, I just play them all out here to show you where they go. The effects all have different abilities, and that's going to be in the next section, going over the details of them. The second phase, after you choose where your cakes or effects go on this board, the second phase is going to be laying them out on the board. Let's see, they call it the placement stage. So you reveal to each other where they go, where you chose them to go, and then you place the cakes next to the character that you place it on your board. Third step, third phase, is going to be the movement phase. So it's very strict. You go in order of that it shows here and that it shows on your board from left to right. So you start with the spade rabbit, no matter what order they're in. It always starts with the spade rabbit and then goes to diamond rabbit. And they first move the number of spaces that they're allowed to, and then you do the effects for that rabbit. Then you move down. And you keep doing that over and over again. And the game, it was really fun. There's actually some strategy you can have with this game. There's some ways to come into the last second and win. There's definitely ways to make sure that you're winning the entire time, guaranteed, without any surprises. That's really fun and cute game. I like the concept. And then at the end of every single round, your cakes come to the end here to keep track of whose cake colors are on that rabbit. And when the rabbit gets to the end, you look at the plates, and it'll show you who has the most cakes. Gameplay is a 5-star. The entire game I give a 5-star. So I'm going to go directly into the detailed rules now. Alright, so you begin the game by grabbing the player board of your choice. The player board color of your choice. You're going to be looking at the design here, these characters maybe, or maybe you want to look at the colors instead and decide you want that specific color. Then you grab the screen that matches that color, and you grab all of the coins that match that color. So this is a pink screen, pink board. You choose the pink coins. You take all of those coins, you're going to want to put them, you're going to actually set up your screen like this with the black circles side facing up behind the screen, which is standing. Place all of the coins of your color in front of your screen, face down, with the eat me symbol faced up, so you can't see what side effects are on the other side, what effects. You're going to scramble those all together so you don't know where the effects are, and leave them in front of your screen so you can see the other player's cakes, coins. Alright, so then you take all of the rabbits out of the box, put them in their standees, and lay them next to their board symbol. This board here will be completely empty at the very beginning of the game. There will be nothing in the center here. The rabbits will be on their starting spaces, nothing will be on the track, and then you begin the game. So the game takes place over a couple rounds until one of the rabbits either gets to the finish line, so this is the spot where they end, or whichever rabbit ends the furthest past the finish line. The rabbits do technically, well, you can play the rabbit who gets to this finish line, or you can play the rabbit that gets to this hand, because the hand is technically after the finish line before the rabbits are starting. Anyway, Then you begin the game. So the game takes place over rounds. There's 3 phases in the round. The first phase is choosing your coins. So you're going to randomly choose 3 of your coins that are sitting in front of your screen and bring them behind your screen and reveal to yourself what they are. You're going to look at them, and you're going to have these different options right here. And I'll explain a little, actually after the 3 phases, just like the directions do, what each of them means. But you have your cakes and your different effects. You're going to have, remember, all of one color. But I'm just displaying everything for you here. You're going to grab your 3 coins of your color in front of your screen, bring them behind your screen, look at what they are, and you're going to have to use all 3 of your coins and place them under one of the rabbit pictures on your board. You can place all 3 of them on the same rabbit or spread them out however you like. You can have 1 on each rabbit that you can place the 3 coins, or all 3 on one, 2 on one, and 1 on another, whatever order you want. If you want to put a cake on the rabbit, the cake side of the coin has to be facing up. If you want to put the side effect or the effect on the rabbit, the effect side of the coin has to be facing up. When everyone's in agreement that they're done with their step, then you reveal the coins to each other by taking away your screens. Then you move on to phase 2. Phase 2 is taking the coins from your board and placing them in the strip that belongs to that rabbit. So, if this Eat Me coin, or this green Eat Me coin, had been placed on the Spades rabbit, this player would have taken this Eat Me coin and placed it here. The numbered spaces are where the cakes go, which is the Eat Me side. You start filling in the movement spaces with 5 and going to the right, so that every single cake reduces the rabbit's movement by 1. So this top bar here is for movement, and the bottom section for each rabbit is the effects. The effects all have pictures on them. The first one is the shield, and then it's the axe, the jaws, the swapping rabbits, and the +2 movement, which is the stopwatch. And they're all right here laid out exactly how they would in the game. Now, every cake that you place down reduces the rabbit's movement by 1. It's good that you get cakes of your color on the rabbits, because at the end of the game, the rabbit who has either the furthest or finishes first, the player wins if they have the most cakes on that rabbit. You don't directly control the rabbits. You just affect them with giving them cakes, which might slow them down but allows you to win if they win first, or with effects, which allows them to finish faster than other rabbits, or allows you to target other rabbits with negative effects. If a player or players play more than one of the same effect, it just gets stacked on that effect slot, and from my understanding, you do that effect multiple times. So if there's 2 stopwatches here, because you and another player played 2 stopwatches, or you played 2 stopwatches, then that player gets to use this coin twice, because there's 2 coins. If cakes get filled in here all the way to 1, if there's more cakes than can fit in here, you just start stacking them on the 1 space. But if that 1 is covered with 1 or multiple coins, then the rabbits that specific rabbit doesn't move at all. He stays in that spot. He or she stays in that spot. All right. Now, so that's the second phase, putting the coins onto the slots on the board. The third phase is the movement phase. So with the movement phase, you start with the first rabbit here. The way the rabbits move always begins with the spade rabbit, and it moves down this column. So it goes in turn order. It's spade, diamond, clover, heart, circle. It doesn't matter where they are around the board. It always goes in that order, and that's why it shows you on your board in the same order from left to right. Spades, diamonds, clovers, hearts, circles. So the spade rabbit moves first. In this situation, the spade rabbit has 4 movements. So I count the stairs as a movement as well. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you would do the effects of the rabbit that are on this rabbit. So let me re-clarify that. Spade rabbit goes first. You start by doing the movement first. So 1, 2, 3, 4. After the movement, you start working on the effects that affect the rabbit or other rabbits from left to right. So in this case, this rabbit would get 1 shield. Then you move to the next effects because that doesn't trigger right now. The next effect is the axe. The axe does trigger right now, and its special ability is get rid of all the cakes for this round. So this round means the cakes that are currently in here. And I'll go over those more, but actually I'll go over them right now. So the shield isn't triggered right now because nothing triggers it. It stays here until it's triggered for this round. At the end of this round, it disappears off the board, and we just keep a pile over there. One shield protects against 1 negative effect from other rabbits or traps on the field. So if this rabbit were to go over a trap, this would immediately activate, and that rabbit can continue his movement, but you lose the shield. If another rabbit had triggered the shield, it would remove the shield for each 1 negative effect. The axe gets rid of all the cakes for this round, which I just did, and that doesn't have multiple reaction. The shield or the trap here, once you get to the trap, you immediately put it down on the line between the space the rabbit's on and the space behind it, so right here. And it stays right there. And this rabbit does not get affected. The effect was on this rabbit. That rabbit does not get affected by this trap. It's the next rabbit to go over it. They immediately get stuck on the space after the trap, and they can't move unless they have the stopwatch. So the stopwatch allows them, so if this rabbit had a movement of 4, it'd go 1, 2, 3, it would get stuck there. Then it would activate later its stopwatch, which gives it another 2. So 1, 2. That trap, I would have to say, I want to say, is only triggered by 1 rabbit. So this rabbit would make it immediately go off the board. And I think the rules actually say if the trap, they will get caught in it until the end of the round. The rabbit loses any steps left this round. The shield can protect a rabbit against the trap. When the rabbit is running past the trap, discard the shield token and the trap token into the box. If the rabbit doesn't have a pocket watch, return the trap to the box. The trap doesn't prevent the rabbit from using a rabbit hole. So if the rabbit doesn't have a pocket watch, and it's my understanding it stays on the board if the rabbit uses their pocket watch. Alrighty, so the next one is going to be rabbit swapping. You can swap with the rabbit that's closest in front of you. So if you had a situation like this rabbit would swap with this rabbit, and that rabbit would go there. The shield blocks that, though, from happening. Now, if this rabbit was way over here and it was the nearest rabbit in front of him, and let's say all these rabbits are back here like this situation, then this rabbit would swap with that one, and this one would go back there. And then there's the stopwatch, which allows you to go your regular movement like you would up here. And then as you're going through the effects, once you get to the stopwatch, then you add 2 more to that rabbit's movement. But only when you get to it. All of these are when you get to it, except for the shield. The shield immediately triggers as soon as a negative effect were to hit that rabbit. 1 negative effect per shield. That is the end of the movement phase. That's the 3rd phase. It's the end of the round. You take all the side effects, except the traps, off the board. Those all go to a discard pile. Those don't go back into your little pool of chips that are in front of your screen. No chips on the board, from the board, or played any rounds go back to the supply in front of your screen. That's a dwindling supply. And then all the cakes that were on the rabbits get pushed to the side into the plates on the side. So this plate means this is for this rabbit, this plate's for this rabbit, and so on and so forth. And at the end of the game, you'll be able to determine who has the most cakes for the winning rabbit by looking at the colors on the plates. I hope I explained everything in this game. I believe I did. If you have any questions, please post them in the comments, and I'll get to them as soon as I can. Thank you. Have a good day.